when I was actually preparing and researching for Brillante, the Nagaland Piano Festival, during that time I had to ask every school how many piano students they had, and started having a number of statistics about teachers and students and schools and ratio like that. And I realized that there's such actually a vibrant community of piano learners and educators as well. So that got me to think about how wonderful that would be, because we are such a potential group community that can actually help foster a very strong and dynamic, not just an education community, but performance in terms of piano and all that. And so that's how the vision came about, because we already had teachers as well, good educators. I mean, I have really wonderful educators just sitting next to me, and then there are other people as well in other parts of the state that have been doing this as a tradition for a long time. Dr. Margaret Shishak, as well as Dr. Vivi, and then we've had Nini, that has the late Nini, and others who have gone before us as well, and they've done a remarkable job. And many of you are actually byproducts of their teaching as well, and maybe some of ours, which we're so privileged and honored to see some of you here as well. So that's the vision, to look forward and to actually grab the momentum that was already created from the past, and to actually be progressive as well, and to help in exchanging all the new resources that we get in teaching techniques, and to have that strong community. That was why it came about, and that's the vision of the NPTA. Yeah.
Or you can bring in your piece of paper.
Yes, we are taking admissions. He's taking admissions. He's also taking admissions. Okay. Yes, we are.
What comes with that? And how does that work?
Yes.
How many years, months, or how does the contract work? For mainly for younger aspiring musicians at the retail level.
Yes.
You can share your story.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I want to say that I'm really happy to be part of this event. It's been a long time since we have had something like this. It reminds me of normal life. So thank you, Kyo and NPTA for inviting me and all of us here. I want to, if that's okay, I want to just move ahead from the spiritual aspect, if that's okay. I don't want to be too cliche and say like it's a blessing. Yes, we know about that. But I think when it comes from a human perspective, the way I think it works for me is when you're so true to yourself and the art, the passion that you share and you sell to others, I think good things are bound to happen. I've always said like you should be true to the seed that is in you. You cannot suddenly be a mango tree and suddenly decide to become a coconut tree one day, So you have to stay true to the seed that was planted. So I have always been very loyal and faithful to my classical roots. And I am not Yamaha artist because I'm the best pianist in the country or in the state. Nothing like that. But maybe I somehow fulfill some of the requirements. First of all, it's cheaper for them to take an Indian guy who looks a little bit Japanese to represent Yamaha. Second of all, maybe I'm also a good businessman. I can help them sell their products, their pianos, so maybe I can. That's also very important because you should be able to sell yourself as a product, And I'm not trying to demean our art when I say that. It's very important. And it's all about not just being confined to your own space. You need to be able to be people-oriented, and you need to be able to talk to people and have that connection. So this is the reason why some of us, I think, we don't really have music videos. We are not really in that virtual space. Now we are compelled to somehow, but I think it's very important that you have that personal connection with people. So when I went to Guwahati for a Yamaha store opening, I met the MD of Yamaha, and that time I was with Kawai, their biggest rivalry. And I almost became the Kawai brand ambassador, but maybe it was destiny. The MD seemed to like me, and we happened to have connected well. So I went to there, he offered me this contract, and I said yes, why not? Because it was a dream that unfolded right before my eyes. And I do want to encourage each one of you, and I encourage myself to go further as well. Like, if a Kohima village boy can become Yamaha artist, everybody can do it, And the perks that you get is not in terms of money or publicity, anything, but the fact that you get to represent such a wonderful music company, I think that is by itself an achievement, you know, and it only makes me want to achieve better heights. So I think in short, that's it. People ask me, do you get a salary? Do you get concerts? Yes, I do get concerts. There's a Yamaha artist manager. But other than that, I can still do the things that I love, you know, I'm not too confined. So I think giving space for an artist to grow is so important. You should not put them in a box at any point of time, because I think that's how you stop growth in any person. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Questions to be asked. If not, let me ask, like, a good solid foundation is essential for good education to produce an excellent student or excellent product. So, as piano teachers, we are all into a sort of teaching or something. So, I would like to ask, like, well, how can we prepare our student, or how can we give our student a good foundation so that like they can become great asset to our society?
Okay, it's good to see you all today. I'm glad that we can have this celebration together as pianists. It's such a wonderful program that we're having here today. And so, as a music teacher, I always look back at my foundations. Like when I was growing up, I always look back at how the church has been, my experiences are always in the church usually. And I'm sure it'll be for many of you as well, since we are in the state of Nagaland. So church music has been a foundation, I should say, a foundation for me. I started playing the piano when I was 10 years old, and then my first experience was in the church service, playing the hymn. So that's how I started develop to become a church pianist as well. And I think we should always encourage our students, our younger brothers and sisters, to participate in whatever they can, to grab the opportunity to perform. Okay, and I think that's how, for myself, that's how I grew in my musical journey. One thing is to experience first, and that's how you learn this, you learn this music. And also, I think we have to motivate our students more to grow. And how do you motivate? Usually, these days we have good technology, so we can motivate them by using technology. The YouTube, it's got so many things in the YouTube, so you can use that technology as well to motivate them, which is not very easy. When I was growing up, I didn't have that motivation at all. So, but now we have YouTube, the technology, so you can use that to motivate your students. And also, what else? I will add more, I think, later on. Yeah.
This can be quite a personal thing. I'm not even going to go about on the foundations and all the basic things that they need to know, because foundation, everyone needs to know their ABCs. For myself as a teacher, what I've seen is that piano teaching requires two main things for me. I try to get to know what the student wants to do, what they want to achieve, and I need to know their character and their personality in a way. It pertains to your question, how to make them succeed. And so I'm a true believer of being who you are as well, what Lisa was sharing about being that seed. So I really try and tap into that in every student, whether they are 10 years old or 21 or 58, because I think it really helps them become the kind of performer they want to be, or what to do with their music. because they have to be comfortable to know, to perform or to play music that they like, and that is an extension of themselves as artists, or even if they're not full-fledged artists, music that really reflects their passion. And so I really tap into that, and all the performers or whatever that have done well or that have studied, you have to know whether this one is born to be a classical performer, this one's born to be a teacher, this one's, you have to know those characters about them and guide them along that way, encourage and motivate in whatever way. I've had sessions where they've cried during the session because we're talking about real issues. We can't always be soft on them. I tell them, hey, you need to work on this. We talk about everything because it's not just music. Music is affected by what they're thinking, what they are, living in everyday life, what are they focusing on, and all those side issues really affect who they are as well. So that mentorship aspect about life skills actually really impact, and so it's been a real pleasure to see that. And when you know as a teacher, I think that what is not right for that student, you have to actually put a foot down, because I'll just share a short incident. I think one student had come to me and he had the dream to actually go and study abroad. And he's done really well, and he had great potential, but his courage was lacking at one point because his parents didn't have the money. And he wanted me to sign something about going to a local school here to study music, which is also a great school. And I just tore it up in front of him and I told him, you're not going to go here because I'm not going to sign this. You're going to go where you wanted to go, and I'm going to believe in it with you. And he cried the whole lesson. But he's actually there now. He is there. And so, it was a big risk for me. And I was thinking, oh my God, what if he doesn't get there? I'm just going to be like, I have to sell things to send him somewhere, But thank God he believed, he worked hard, and, he got favor. So, it's one of those things. A lot of risks involved as well, but it pays. So that's my short story.
Yeah. If I can just add something. I think as a teacher, two things that you really need to be mindful is like to help students accept their limitations, and the other extreme would be to help them explore the possibilities that they have. And we need to be vulnerable also. We cannot always have, I don't really believe in lesson plans. Maybe I will contradict with some of you, but I don't believe, because that day, maybe at that point of time, your student may not be ready to learn anything that is related to music. Maybe that student just needs your attention. And I want to cry when I say that, because sometimes you play the role of maybe a counselor, you are their mother, their father, their best friend. So you need to be so vulnerable and sensitive to the energy that is there at that moment. And the other thing, I think this is for students, performers, and teachers. It's very biblical that in Psalm 23 we find that my cup overflows. You and I need to fill our cup first. And what overflows is for us to share it with others. If you are empty, there's nothing to give to anybody. So you and I always need to fill our cup, maybe with YouTube tutorials, maybe by learning new songs, maybe more about maybe theory, more about maybe performance, whatever it may be. If you are empty, you cannot expect your garden to blossom and grow. So I think at the end of the day, we just have to remember ourselves like a tree. And we should work on the roots more than what is seen by the human eye, because the deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. No matter what comes your way, your tree will not be shaken. And when your branches, they move out, you're able to shelter and give shade to people who are in need of that. So that's my take on it.
We want to treat that class. I'm sure they are all benefited by what you have shared. If you have any questions, my last call for your question. Okay, if not, we will call it a day for the session for now. And thank you so much for for insightful words to us.
Thank you.